We are live. Hello, everybody. We are back, and today we have a very, very special person here with us. This guy do a lot for us in these communities of PVs. He's not just a rider. He's a guy who help to improve for riders who love the mountain skateboards to go faster, and he has a fantastic shop. I think everybody knows him, but just very quickly for everybody to see it, let's go here. And this is his shop, and here you can find today he's doing boards, but we're going to talk about everything of that. But I think the best easy way for us to know him is he's going to talk a little with you guys and present. Moe, thank you for coming. How are you?
Glad to be here, Nelson. Man, it's been a couple of years, hasn't it?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years and a little more. You was one of the first ones who came here, and you bring all the guys that you help putting this sport together. I think there is lots of riders today. They are thankful to you because I think you are not just a great person. I'm talking about me, but I think you are a person who put this sport from here we cannot reach is a lot higher. And just to the people who don't know you, tell it a little how that everything started, because I'm going to go to Facebook and I'm going to share to everybody to see in Facebook.
So let's see here. When we got started in on this, my daughter was coming back from racing national midgets for Toyota, and she during the winter we don't race, so we just kind of, she says we need a project, so we grabbed a board off the wall. My son's out of the his park board, and we threw some RC car stuff on it and made a electric skateboard. And then I ran into this community of people, and 6 months later we had a performance day, and a couple months later than that we organized our first race, and it's just kind of snowballed off of that down here in Southern California. So a few faces in and out, but generally most of the people who have been in it since the beginning, there's a bunch of them that are still with it and doing it with us. So the beginnings of this racing has been pretty organic and out of fun, based out of fun, and continues to be the driving force for organizing racing and bringing racing to people is the fun in it. It's a lot of joy. At the end of the day, it's a lot of work too, but we're starting to draw people in, younger people that are doing things on skateboards today that 6 years ago I would have never dreamed of anybody doing. Just for instance, Morgan Brady has documented 2G in a turn on an electric skateboard. To put that into context, your MotoGP, Moto Grand Prix, the super bikes, 1.5G is all they turn in a turn. It's incredible. Who would have ever thought that? Not me. So we got guys that are going 0 to 40 miles an hour in 3.2 seconds on a skateboard. That's what a car does. Not a medium car, but a good quick car, and you're steering with your feet. So it's
Okay.
These riders, they keep bringing the level up, and then we discover new things, and the joy of it for me is because everything's new and undiscovered. We keep learning as we're going, and looking forward from now, who knows where we'll be in the next 3 to 5 years.
I'm going to put this way the question, my friend. As a beginning, when we start the first interview, you was in your shop, and everything was like just having fun and creating stuff for the young guys to ride. And it was in this park, this park every Sundays. Everybody came just to have a nice ride, testing the machines. And you put the trucks that you created with lots of work. And then today, and we talk about it, and I say, do you going to make a board? And you always say, oh, Nelson, making a board, creating everything is difficult. Today, you have one of the best machines to race in a mark. And
So
how do you see it today for you, my friend, having these machines going around the world, because you are having lots of people buying?
let's back it up for a second to where we stopped talking
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years ago. There was this guy Nelson who brought the question, why don't you build things? Why don't you make production? Why don't you make available for everybody? And you run into people throughout your life, that have input that you bring in, that change things, that help you along, that put ideas in your head, give you inspiration, and drive you forward. And that interview we did 2 years ago with you pushing those questions like that, that stuck. That stuck, Nelson. So I started thinking to myself, well, what would a production line look for my small little shop out there? What kind of things would I need to put together to make boards for more than just myself and the people that are um, in my circle? How would I go about doing that? And just that little part of that interaction between you and me that day, that really did push me into going into the shop and figuring out a process to make a production style board that I could make 10 chassis out of and bring to people. So it's kind
And
of
I
a
know it's
fun.
not easy for you.
It's not easy, but I had to figure out a way to make it easier, but it's that my point being is that as you journey through this, there are people that come along that are pivotal and that make you rethink things and change things as you go. And Nelson, you're one of those people that did that for me, and that I mean, just the smallest
Come
little
on.
question like that put in that way. So the things that have changed for me since that day we went into production, I was a lineman working for the city of LA and on the high voltage power lines. And today I'm a one-man operations working out of my shop, and we're trying to progress this sport and progress the parts that go into making this sport happen for people. And I'm full-time in it now. So I've quit being a lineman. This is my full-time gig. And it's hard, and it's a lot of work. And, there's a lot of unknowns and uncertainties in it. But that day from that interview I had with you 2 years ago, this is where I'm at in it. And I'll tell you what, it's fantastic. It is really fantastic to be able to get up every day and build things for people. I love it.
Yeah, but you have to think like this. Everything I told to you is because uh, lots of riders has came here and everybody talk about you, and everybody talk the way they talk it, what you created, and how do you change it. And I said, I know that there is lots of guys who likes to race, and we have to have something safe. And the trucks you created, the boards that you created, with the help of the riders, because you listen to the riders,
Yeah.
and you put everything together, and you create something for our safety. It's very important, our safety, because everybody who rides skateboards, he knows what is bubbles. And we see Mario going downhill, and of one moment he has the bubbles and he fall, and it could be bad. All of us, we know that. Who rides skateboards knows how that happens. And if you don't have a good trucks and a good machine in your hand, like we are talking in private, the speeds that you are having today don't have nothing to do about 2 years.
No.
The game today is like, from here is like other world. We are not playing. That is machines. We have machines in our hands, and we have to have safety. That's why you are very important. And the way you make your boards is very special. It's not a board that you buy just a deck and is just go and ride. I'm going to ask you like this. You are not just a guy who created. You are a guy that started make it rides every Sundays, every time, bringing people together. And today you have maybe one of the biggest events of the world of PVs. This weekend was the third year or fourth year?
Oh man, I think I believe our first deal at AVS. Oh man, it was. I want to say it was 20. I think it was 2019. I think it was 2019, and we got 2 events in, and then I believe COVID came.
Yeah.
And kicked our ass. And
It was bad for
yeah,
everybody.
their first event was on the original track before it was paved. It was bad. We had 20 cones out there to keep people from dying because the track was that bad, just to show them where the bad spots were and to miss the bad spots. But you know, and we did it all out of fun, and
Hey, my
it wasn't
friend.
just me in instigating in this. Yeah, we called him Apple Valley Matt. I did anyways. He was a guy that was a local out there. We didn't even know this track existed. And Apple Valley Matt comes up and says, "Hey, we got this really cool track out here in the desert, and you got to come check it out." And I know the guys who run it, and I think we can get PEVs on there. I think we can get a skateboard race. And so, you know, it's it's not all me here, Nelson. It is a
Yeah.
bunch of guys, and just like with the development and the the development of the e-boards going up to where we have them today. There's a lot of the guys that came
So,
in and that we gleaned a lot of input off of people. Early
for the people
days,
who don't know, there is the
yeah, early
little.
days with Jason Lucier. We took he brought a lot of interesting ideas that you know, necessarily weren't working on a track at the time, but that he had built into some of his early skateboard stuff. All of the heel posts that people use to lean on now. You know, our deck has that kicktail on it. That was a Jason Lucier from his what do you call it? Skate wedge. Skate the wedge was his deal. So you know, um, it's really a lot of people putting in effort, time, ideas. Maybe not all the ideas were the greatest, but I see something that I think might have merit in testing. I'm going to go to the track and test it.
Yeah.
We might have 5 of those ideas that are bad and one of them that's great. But having the writers like your Mario Chacon, like your Brandon Torgerson, to be able to take these ideas and say, hey, what do you think about this? Is widening the front end up work better than narrowing it up? Let's go run the track and try both on the setup and see what you say. So we get to take that. I get to take that stuff back to the shop with me and tweak on it and bring things better. And we kind of got a really interesting board today that that's pretty new, and I'm really happy to see this all come together. And it's not just me on the input on this. It's been other people putting it in, but me taking their ideas, taking them and tested them, and then putting them on a platform where they're functional on the track and making speed. And it's this is not a one man show by any means. It's many people that have tried and worked and gleaning different points and things and pulling them in and adapting them to what I think may or may not work, testing them and proving them, or testing them and proving them bad, you know.
That's it.
But but
That's it
for
true.
me, that's the joy in it. And Nelson, I get to get up every day and I get to do that. And where I used to climb poles and work the high line and the high voltage stuff. Um, my whole life I've spent racing on the weekends, you know, and for fun. And I get R&D and develop and build and do it every day. And it's really I'm just beside myself, you know, with the feeling I get to get up and do this every morning. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. I really do. Um,
My friend, how can you not be? We are seeing here one. You are a guy who loves skates. You bring a event that you have. How many? We was talking in private. How many categories do you have this year in this event?
so categories, we had a whole mess of trophies going on. So with the e-skate, just the skateboards, we had novice,
Mm-hmm.
sportsman, pro divisions, and
Mm-hmm.
then we had a women's e-skate division as well. So
Wow.
4 divisions in e-skate. And then the EUC was the same. We had pro, novice, sportsman, and women's. And then
How
we
about you,
had
my friend?
also had the bike, trikes, and scooters. They're actually starting to get the numbers where we're going to have to split them up into divisions.
Mm-hmm.
But we ran this year. We ran the bikes, trikes, and scooters together. They had enough for a full main
Mm-hmm.
together, but it is really looking like the bikes, trikes, and scooters are going to start becoming their own class as well. So holy smokes, that's nine divisions that we had racing this weekend. Yeah, that is a lot of stuff to organize and put together for a 1 day event.
How
For
many
1 day,
riders was in there this
yeah,
year?
we did qualifying and progressive mains all in 1 day, and it is quite a feat. And my team, I had 9 people on my team. Uh, Doing different jobs throughout the process, and I think we really did a good job as a team bringing it all together. The people involved, I um, had racing background, had a spreadsheet background, you know, IT guy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we had a dedicated medic. Um, it was, you know, it's a lot of work, but it's a village, man. It takes a village to get these things done.
And putting everything together, because lots of people don't know how much work. We was talking about that in private too. It's very important for us, for you guys, to have sponsors. Do you think that is going to change if you guys have the chance to have better sponsors for you to grow more?
I I'll tell you what, this I really love having the energy and that the sponsors are putting into this. This year, you know, we partnered with Amped Electric Games, and I'd seen it. They worked with Eastgate Con and the previous November Race-N-Ride the year before, and this year they brought it. If you haven't seen their broadcast they did, I couldn't believe their team. I believe there was 17 people on their team. It it was it, they brought so much equipment. They had, I think, 3 drones flying. They had
Yeah,
a camera guy in a crow's nest. They had a complete
we are
210
seeing right now.
mixing, speakers, cameras. It was pretty crazy. But they really have stepped their game up a bunch. And what impressed me about the Amp guys is that you would think that they're central all together, but they're actually people uh, from all over the United States and Canada. You know that they all flew in across country from different areas of the country to put this production together, and I was just really impressed with the way what Amp brought to this, and And the important thing when you got a group like Amped that comes and puts on a production for a race like this is that remember we were talking in private about the public.
Mm-hmm.
This sport, in order to get money behind it to drive it, is going to need people watching it and being interested in it. And that's what Amp brings is they're bringing it to people. So
So there is a
once we
person
get the
here.
numbers and people watching this, the bigger sponsors, I believe, will probably want to come in
Yeah.
and get a piece of this and be a part of it. But our sponsors this year, I'd like to rip those out real quick. We
Give
had
me a second.
Riptide
I'm going to
Bushing.
put it directly here for everybody to see it. I think he's here.
Yeah, there's our sponsors for the e-boards and the EUC and the bike track guys, bike track scooter. Um, really was happy to have them on board. We really didn't go after and ask for anybody to come sponsor us. These guys actually came and contacted me, said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, we'd like to help out with the racing and support. Where do you want us?" And I go, we could use something up here with the pro division. Yeah, it's or the novice guys or whatever you want to do is fine.
Yeah.
And we tried to
I
help
think.
out the sponsors with with getting the word out on them and letting people see and know who they are. And that's about the best we can do from our end of it. But having the racers come up and be able to hand them something that a sponsor put up is at the end of the day for their efforts is a pretty big deal.
So there is a
But
friend from here. There is a friend from here who writes something here. We're just going to put it. My AUC journey. Moe, you did a awesome job, event, and great success. Thank you to all the volunteers and who made the weekend a success.
yeah,
So,
without worker bees, without the volunteers, without the people who come in and love what they're doing and support the sport. Yeah, we don't have a sport, but it's such a fun, good time for everybody, Nelson. That
mhm.
I just can't see this turning into anything else but a legitimate um, motorsport. So
uh, uh, what is your opinion today, seeing what happened about the difference from this year for the other years? Because I see the event. I was seeing live, and we see there is lots of people who come not just for to race but to support the riders. Before was just more the riders, maybe someone else in the other years. But this year was lots of people there too, who just came to support the event and to see the races.
yeah, you take a look at the right there from the
Yeah,
drone footage you have. You see that the pits are full. There's
yeah.
people standing all the way along the fence line. They're cheering, jumping up and down, hooting and hollering for their team.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's you talk about the beginnings and how this has just organically grown into this. I next year moving forward, I'm, I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing what kind of things we come up with to implement to change. To make it more. We eventually are we going to run out of space on
How do
this?
you call it this, Moe? What is this? The name, the real name? Is that the scooter? What they put it as name for this
That's the
machine?
trike with two K's,
Yeah.
Trikke, and it is the
Last year
most.
there was there too.
They had, I think, six of those there.
Mm-hmm.
Super competitive, and you watch them ride, and the ride on those things looks really intuitive.
Okay.
They just glide. They just glide through the corners, and they let's see here. I believe the inventor of those, his name's Gildo Belsky, and
Mm-hmm.
if I mispronounce his name, I apologize, but he's a local guy in Southern California here
Mm-hmm.
out of Lompoc, California, and he builds and sells these things, um, primarily, PEV transport. I've seen some of his promotion videos. I believe he has some police on his board, on his trikes, in
Mm-hmm.
for they use them for patrolling,
Okay.
and they're fast, they're maneuverable, and you're it's just really an interesting concept. Um, it's going to be fun watching this group grow. The first time he came out, he only had one or two, and man, I believe there were 6, maybe 7 of them there for this race. It was really fun watching them, and they are quick and they do turn very well.
So, but now going to who is the fastest guy of this year?
So this year was the track record. Okay, all classes got faster this year by
Mm-hmm.
a bunch. The EUCs probably dropped their lap times by the most. I believe they were running last year. They were running in the 1:16s, minute 16, minute
Mm-hmm.
17. They're down in the minute. I believe the fast qualifying lap for the EUCs was 1:12. Was the fast lap. So that when you're talking dropping seconds on a track, you think
Yeah.
about 50 miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
1001,
Mm-hmm.
1002. How much ground did that guy cover? A lot.
Yeah.
So the EUCs probably had the most improvement, but the fastest on the track still is the electric skateboards. Um, Mario went out and set the track record, I believe, at I think it was 111. So the EUCs and the e-boards are really tight now, really close. Um,
That
just
means
for,
next year is going to be like a big battle.
next year, I think what we're going to do with our boards is we're going to re-gear, and we'll probably put our boards at like a 60 to 65 mile an hour straightaway speed,
Mm-hmm.
because we're topping out on the e-boards at quarter straightaway. We're up to full speed, and
Mm-hmm.
we have our stuff geared for 50, 52, 53 miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and these EUCs now are topping at 60 pretty easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in order to continue to drop the track record and improve from year to year, we're going to have to increase our speed on the e-board stuff, and we're closing in on that right now. Um, yeah, it was kind of an interesting deal. Mario broke that track record this year on one motor. He had one motor on the board.
Ooh.
That's it. Crazy, huh?
It's crazy, man.
Absolutely.
But when I think about you guys, you have so good riders and crazy riders. They are pushing all the time, one for another. I have the pleasure to interview most of them here, and I think that is beautiful. They are all of them are friends. They like to compete, but they stay always friends. That is the important thing, and we are seeing the way you are making this sport. I think the event you guys are creating. I hope you are opening here the doors for Europe, the guys from Europe, like David, like some guys like Vic, Tilo, guys who
Yeah.
want to make this times. There is, I think, this competition of the times. You have a small track and you have to improve your times around the world. David too from Czech Republic. I think he was this year with you guys there to
Yep.
race. This year was
Yeah.
the two Davids there, the guy from
That
Czech
was
Republic
that was
and the
that
guy.
was pretty cool. Yeah, I had two Davids. I put David Pilney on one of our
Mhm.
house boards, and also David Bond on the other one. So
Yeah.
kind of nice because they were able to fly in, and in fact, I David Pilney came up and he says, "Hey, my stuff didn't show up. Have you got anything?" You know, and he took and jumped on a board that he never rode before and put it in the Pro Open main. It's like, wow, pretty. He's a pretty good rider. Both of those Davids are very, very, very good riders. And
But talking about that, my friend, I'm talking about a skatecom. I know that last year you helped a lot the track because there was lots of problems with the track. Well, you fixed the problem. Lots of people don't know that, but you was one of the persons to find the way that lots of people was falling because the track was very bad. Tell us a little about what happened, and for everybody to understand, sometimes is this click and understanding how to take care of the track, because the track was very sleepy. This year was a different one. It was not the same place.
The first year the DSkateCon was done on a go-kart track that was a rental track. And so they made the track slick to keep the speeds down on the cars and to kind of make them fun to drive. But for the e-boards, the grip was terrible. It was really bad. And it's the desert, right? So the wind comes in and it's dusty and dirty too. And you put dirt on something that's polished and smooth, it just it was bad. So my racing, we had some old timers that they used to prep the track with they used to prep the track with corn syrup, and some of them would use like Coca-Cola syrup, the syrup before they turn it into Coca-Cola. And I had to actually call one of the old timers that I knew from racing to confirm what they used to use back in the day, because I knew about it, but I'd never done it, because I heard them talk about it from my years of racing. And I went and so I got the idea to put this on the track. So I went and talked to the track owners, and it turns out, and I, just as a fluke, I thought, these guys, there's no way these guys are going to let me dump 22 gallons of corn syrup on their track. No, there's no way they're going to do that. But I got to try, because we got to do something. So I went and talked to these guys. Turns out that the owner of the track was an old racer from way back, and he knew about this. And he says, "Oh, by all means, please, just do it." And so we went out, and this was at nighttime. We went to Winco, bought all the corn syrup they had on their shelf. We went to the Home Depot and bought pump sprayers, and then we bought a bunch of gallons of alcohol. And so you have to mix the alcohol into the corn syrup so you can get a spray that comes out of the pump sprayer. And we manually sprayed that track. It was me and Brad and who else was there helping us? We had 3 guys that were there. I might have. Anyways, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when we finally got the track coated, and for the next day. So we got that clicked out, and got a skate on it, and the grip level went up by 70-80% at least, and made it a lot safer surface for everybody to race on. We got through qualifying, we got through heat races, and then a damn sandstorm came through and dusted the whole thing. And it went back to not quite as bad as it was the day before, but it definitely went back to slick once it got dusted. So we almost made it through the veins with it, but yeah, it was a tough deal. But and it's kind of a fun story, because I had never thought in a million years that a guy who had a go-kart rental track would let me dump 20 plus gallons of corn syrup on it to make grip. And just the fact that I remember these old timers talking about it from guys who raced in the 60s, about what they did on these types of tracks, and the fact that the owners, everything came together, and it was a weird experience, but it was kind of weird and fun. And
but putting like this, my friend. But I was talking with the guys in this year, and everybody saying Nelson, tomorrow is the races, and the track is a piece of shit. If they don't take care of that, there is lots of people having accidents, and that is not good. And everybody was not very happy for the situation, and you came with the idea, and the guys from the track said, okay, I think that is a good thing. That's the way a community works. And you change the event because that was important for these guys from the A Skate Con to do it. And this year was in other place, and in this place, what was for you the difference between one and the other one?
So this place
From
was done
22,
in a
23.
this was 2023 was done in a parking lot with asphalt. Asphalt has great grip and abrasion. You need abrasion on a surface in order to make grip. So the track surface was great. The layout looked really good. The barriers were soft barriers, so if you run into them, you couldn't really get hurt too much on them. That was a good idea. The organizers did a good job of doing the track layout and planning, and vendors, and they stepped their game out a bunch. My hat's off to Mike Beard and his crew. They stepped it up. For me, the track lane was a little bit narrower than I like. There's some designs that you need in a track where you have to have a little bit of a runoff area in order to have good competitive racing. A racer has to be able to hard charge a corner and fuck it up and still be able to recover. And that's how passing happens. So it was a fun track, but for me, the lanes were a little bit narrower than they needed to be. It needed to be opened up and wider. I really hope that I really believe that Mike Beard and his crew are going to go into 2024 and they're going to take this into consideration, and they're going to make a nice wide racing surface so people can send it. And I think the racing will be fantastic, and we'll be watching people pass each other. And
what I was seeing from the race, I want to first of all talk about these two guys. They are doing a fantastic job for all of us. The team behind too, I think they are helping a lot the community, bringing these events alive. And COBRA is a fantastic YouTuber, and I think they are doing a fantastic job. They are more for the AUCs, but they are learning to know who is the guys from skateboards, longboards. They have to know a little more about the names, but they're going to come to that. But don't you think this track was very technical, because it was difficult for you to pass, it was difficult for you to make a competition? I was seeing the track, and I say, if you have a AUC, it's easy for you to do it. But when you have like a skateboard, longboard, that you need more space to pass and everything, I was seeing was missing that. That was not so good created, in my opinion. I was not there, but seeing the live, I was seeing very difficult for you to pass. Mario make a fantastic pass in the end, was fantastic, but that is just for guys who are a little crazy, too much crazy. And that's why I said I think they're going to learn a lot with the riders. I think they have to listen to the riders and change it.
Yeah, the best thing that they could do for eSkateCon 2024 would be to probably talk to some of these intro to speed guys that have been setting up tracks and parking lots. Talk to Mario, talk to Fess, and ask them what a good design track would look like and what would be needed to make a good racy track. One of the things about this the eSkateCon thing is the track needs to be put together in a way that keeps the speeds of the boards right around 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour maybe. So it doesn't have to be a fast track, but it does need to have a wide girth to it, a wide racing lane in order to make the racing good. Because you've got it just you get guys at speed when you only have one racing line to be able to pull through the track. It kind of single files everybody out. But you showed the picture of Seth and COBRA there from Amped. They are definitely, if you watch the live stream they did at Apple Valley they are getting tuned into the e-boards just as much as the bike trikes and scooters, and just as much as the EUCs. They're all about bringing everything together, like we've been talking about. So,
Yeah, we need them. They are very important for us. I'm the first one. I was talking to COBRA and I said I want to bring them here because I think they have to talk about, because they are helping a lot of communities in America, in USA. Most of the events they are putting live, and that is lots of work. That is not easy.
no,
That
no.
is you have to have a good team for everything to work. Drones with systems and everything is not easy. And I have a big compliment for these guys. I said to him, I think, and that help you guys to for your events to grow,
Yeah.
because it's not easy. And I know that it is important for you, my friend, too, for you to grow your event. But for me, having today two events, okay, I think the Escape.com was like a surprise for everybody. I think maybe it's because he's in Las Vegas, he has a good position for you to travel and everything, hotels, is everything very easy. For you
Yes.
guys, you are in the middle of nowhere.
We're Nelson. We're looking at other tracks. We're looking at Willow Springs,
Hmm.
which is a little closer to LA, a little more central.
Hmm.
Um, we're looking at Pat's Acres up in Oregon, um, and we are entertaining. There's a group that runs of go karts
Hmm.
that is looking to put together a 3-race series on the West Coast of the United States, and we're in talks about partnering up and doing a PEV and go kart at the same venue,
Hmm.
under the same rules and same racing uh, crew, I guess, running the show. So that is something that I think will help bring, if we can put that together and finalize that, that will help make more races, but more races in front of people. Um, so 2024 is going to be an interesting year, as long as everybody can stay healthy and stay out of trouble. And I believe we're going to probably double or triple up the amount of races on the West Coast of the United States for the PEV group, and I'm really excited about that and seeing the numbers from people grow in it. Um,
It's not easy, my friend.
it's
It's
not
not
easy.
easy.
It's not easy, and it's kind of hard because the money that comes in to make these things happen, it comes in from the riders. It's
Hmm.
not a sponsor putting it up. It's not a group that's coming in with money trying to build something. It's people coming in trying to put on the event in a way that allows people to race, but it's an expensive deal, and unfortunately, right now where we're at, the riders are the guys supporting it and not sponsors. It's
Yes, I
not
know.
it's not the public getting broadcast out to the put on TV in front of people with sponsors where they come in and they back it.
Hmm.
This is it's grassroots right now, and it's you're doing it because of the love of it, and the costs of it are not perfect. So um, my
Let's talk.
my the way I see the progression of it is that you get it in front of the people, the sponsors will come in, and then we'll be able to lower the cost and the quality will go up on
Hmm.
it. But we just
You
kind
need
of
that.
doing what we can do right now to get races for people to come to and participate. So next year's going to be fun. We got some things in the works.
I want to show you. So I want to show something here. I don't know what you are creating, but I want to show this machine. I think that was something that you create, my friend, and I would love to show it. Tell us a little more about what are you creating and what the people. I want to. not to make a little propaganda. I think you don't need too much propaganda. I think your machines is like crazy. First of all, before you talk about this machine, when we talked the first time, we was having lots of problems with the tires.
Yeah.
Do you have fixed this problem, or till today there is?
So back when we were talking, the company Bishop Racing Products
Mm-hmm.
was being ran by the original owner. He started the company back in the 80s, 1980s, and we were working on a 130 millimeter tire. And we were trying different compounds of foam from, we went through 7 different manufacturers with they all had a little bit of a different temperatures, compounds, trying to find that magic filler foam that would allow us to run this wheel and not create so much heat in it. 130 millimeter was making too much heat. It was our problem. So we put it on the back burner. We were racing the Metro tire. The Metro tire was doing real good. It was at the time, it was the best tire available that we had that had the correct profile and everything. The company was sold to a group in North Carolina. And granted, this is a company that's ran. It's a mom and pop company, BRP. They hand build each tire out of their shop, and they make them to order. So when the company got sold, we kind of went into and put things on pause with the wheel development until I could get a hold of the new owners and talk with them, and then continue the process for this development. Uh, so what we ended up when we after talking with the new owners, we started out with a larger wheel. We went to a 155 millimeter tire. Um, we grabbed some of the things that we learned from the 130 millimeter tire and started applying it to the bigger diameter wheel. We had to change our gearing and whatnot, but what we ended up finding is that we got our temperatures down where they were reasonable, where we could go out and run multiple laps on them and have the tire live, so we weren't going to the critical temperatures that would destroy the foam. And we brought this tire up to a place where it is just has incredible grip, very good reliability, and we can put a 220-pound man on this thing and put it on any track now with confidence and have it live. And like I said with Morgan Brady earlier, pulling 2 Gs in a turn, they're fantastic on asphalt or rough concrete. One of the places we struggle with is a smooth concrete like the track we had in Eastgate Con. It just has too big of a footprint to work properly on a smooth concrete track. You can't get the rubber is kind of a weird finicky deal. If it's too cold, it won't make grip. So you need to be able to raise it up to a temperature, we call it, when the tire fires off. For these, it's about 110, 115 degrees is where the tire fires off and gets super grippy. So like on a smooth track, you just can't build that abrasion and get it up to where it fires off. And plus it picks up all the dirt and you end up with kind of a slippery mess. But it's got to be run on an abrasive track, whether it be concrete or asphalt. But it's we're really happy with where this tire is at right now, and the options that we have with the different durometers, different widths. We can take our tire and confidently put a 145-pound man on it and have the grip levels that he needs, where he has enough weight to make the tire fire off and make grip, and take a little bit different approach with a little harder compound and a little wider tire and put a 220-pound guy on it and have him fire off and get the same grip on the same track and be able to race side by side with that 145 pounder. It's it's a it's been a long road getting this tire where it's at, and being able to figure out all the things that need to happen to make the different weight riders have that grip level that they need to compete with each other, especially you know, at the level these guys are riding these things at. So really happy to be able to work with the new owners and get this tire to a place where I am confident that any person can get on this thing and win on this tire. It's just a matter of dialing in the right duro, the right width, and going out and making it happen. So my
So
hats off to
show.
BRP for working with me
Mhm.
on this, and it's been a road, man. It has been a road. The last
So let's see
it's
the machine here. I want to show this machine for everybody, and you can speak a little. I think that is from Morgan,
yeah.
and
So this is I believe where Morgan Brady is currently, and Morgan has been fantastic. He has been my heavy guy tester for these tires.
mhm.
Uh,
Let's put
he's
one
that
heavy duty.
220-pound guy I'm talking about that just
Mhm.
absolutely puts it. Well, he won Skate Con twice. He
Mhm.
won Apple Valley last year, and how do
Yeah,
you?
Morgan is one of the best riders we
Well,
have.
look at that. You think about it for a second, and most of these guys think, well, if you're 145 pounds, you've got a super advantage over
Mhm.
everybody, right? Because you're light. And Morgan Brady's proven all that, putting out all kind of. He's proven them wrong. He's a big dude, and
Yeah, but
yeah.
how do you came with the solution for the deck and everything to pass everything, my friend?
Well, this is the V5, and this was when we were talking back about making a production line
Mhm.
race board for everybody.
Mhm.
Um, this is a design that we came up with because I wanted to change a few things on the V4 design that would that would eliminate a couple of things that we had on the track. One of them, the main thing, was lateral G pushback, and what that is when you go into a turn really hard and the board wants to stand up straight. So you end up using all the force from your feet trying to hold the board over. You see downhillers, they grab the rail.
Mhm.
A lot of guys, they have to, uh, they foot bind and they have to really lean that board in to hold it in a high G turn. And the V5, I wanted to eliminate as much as I possibly could, so that you use your muscles for steering rather than turning, if that makes sense to you.
Mhm.
So that with a V5 platform, that and then the inverted
I want to put
rods,
this video. You can speak, continue to talk, but I want to put this
yeah,
video
the inverted
because
rod design all came together on that. This is the old V4 design here.
yes,
Yeah,
that
and
was where everything began.
this is right in the middle of everything. Yeah, but right before we made available for everybody was
Yes, that
this.
was more the trucks and everything, and you was testing.
It's a great board. I think right person could still jump on a board like this and go win on our new tire, with a few updates and stuff.
And
But
I think the video was fantastic, huh?
these boards were so labor intensive. I mean, it's a full chrome ollie tube chassis, and it just hours and hours and hours to build one of those.
I'm just showing this for the people to understand the difference from before and from today. How much work you put in the V4 and how much work you put for to putting all together in this V5. Uh, are we going to see something new in the future, or is the V5 is going to stay
Well,
like?
the V5 is our premier race board. Um, we're gonna take and make some fine tuning tweaks on it, but right now it's just a great race board. So what I've been working on is, there's guys that the V5 gives back a lot of road resonance, And when you're racing, that's a good thing because it gives you a feel of what the tarmac is and what the tarmac is doing. But that being said, it has a flat deck. So if a guy wants a little W or concave or something, he's got to build it up. Ryan Rux is a good example of that. He is taken his V5 and built concave into it, and it really, his foot sits down in it and plants really good. But it's a little bit of work doing that. We have the Super Spine now, which is taken from our production what we learned in the V5, but instead of a long rod board, it's a short rod board. So we were able to take away a lot of the pinnings underneath that were protection for the rods in the steering, and we moved the steering inside of the circumference of the wheel by using a short rod. What that did is it simplified the production a little bit, and then we went and designed a wood deck
Big boy, my fastest.
with Jared from Durang Boards for production. So what the wood brings to the steel, so you've got a solid steel spine running all the way through the middle of the board. So it takes any torsional twist that you would get out of a wood deck out of it. It's gone. There's no torsional twist. It ain't gonna happen. Torsional twist is really bad for skateboarding. When you get your trucks and they get out of sync through twist, that's where big problems start happening at speed. So the spine board takes away the torsional twist, but having a wood deck, what that does is it takes that ground resonance we were talking about, that buzz, that feel that you get through your feet with the V5 that's good for racing, and the wood deadens that resonance, makes it a lot better for just cruising or street riding. But it's still a very good race deck. That the board that Mario broke, the Apple Valley record this year, was on the Super Spine. He was on our Triple S, the Super Spine single motor. So we're kind of in the beginning stages of it, but we have the spine board pretty refined out now. We're now working with Tommy Boy, who makes very, very nice, beautiful decks. And Tommy Boy has designed a deck called the Track Hawk, which is designed to fit our Super Spine setup. And we gave away one of those as a prize to the Sportsman e-board class this year at Apple Valley, the Race-N-Ride. There's a few of them out there. I think we have 10 boards out there now. We have one guy that's riding around on a Super Spine single. It's a weird concept. It's a single motor, dual drive, locked rear end. Rear end's locked. They track really nice down the straightaway, and they point and shoot real well coming off the corner. To kind of make it easy to understand, a regular open differential skateboard, the wheels turn independently of each other on the rear, and when you're rolling a corner, you have a differential that allows the skateboard to turn. So you get more of a curve feel when you're turning on a board like that. With the Super Spine locked up from the center off, when you go to throttle from the center off, the weight gets transferred from the front to the rear, and the rear wants to straighten out the board so it has a point and shoot feel when you're accelerating off the apex of a turn. So you have to set up the entry a little bit differently. We did a lot of testing on this. My initial thoughts going in on the locked rear end was that this is going to be terrible. It's going to be a terrible thing. It turned out that with the Bishop Racing tires, the amount of grip we were getting out of those, it wasn't terrible. And the guys, when they first got on it, they're like, it is not bad, but it feels different and I'm uncomfortable on it. And so we put Mario on it and we just let him ride that for a while, and he got his head dialed in with the board and got it figured out how to make a turn with it. It turns different than the open differential boards, but the point and shoot from the center off, when you rotate that that weight to the rear and the board wants to tighten up and shoot coming off the corner, I believe actually makes the acceleration from center off a little bit better than the open differential ones. And the open differential boards get to the center a little better. And you have to be a little more precise with your turns with the closed rear, because if you're off a little bit on your entry, the point and shoot thing, if you shoot and point in the wrong direction, the recovery on it's a little bit harder as far as getting the board back under you and putting it in the direction you have to go. So different, but the same. We've been testing it, short tracking, and it's proven to be a for one motor, 15,000 watts. It's proving itself to be a valuable tool for racing. So it's going to be interesting.
No. Another question is like that. How many centimeters do you have now of board? How many the distance from one tire to the other tire?
So from the front to the back, we're 42 centimeters. I don't know. I'd have to. In inches. Our wheelbase is 42 inches. It is long, and the reason why we're there is because the acceleration and deceleration, you need that leg spread to be able to transfer weight to the front and rear and have a good solid base underneath you when you're accelerating and decelerating. So on a shorter board, it's harder to do because your legs are closer together. Yeah, so 42 inches is our wheelbase. It's long. It's really long. And you have to have a lot of turn in a board to be able to short track race like Morgan's doing here on the screen.
Yeah, that the Morgan has a different style that Mario. Morgan is a more high guy, and Mario is a guy who goes very. He lays a lot on the board. Is different styles, very different one.
They are very.
I like different. To see the competition. The finals between the two of them was crazy.
I really wish Mario would have been a little more patient in that main event. He tried,
but was good the race. Come on,
yeah, he tried to make a move on. He tried to make a move on Morgan early, and Morgan is so precise and so consistent and just good everywhere that it's really hard to capitalize on anything because he doesn't do anything bad. He is the same. And
what Mario needed to do, he was a fox. He knows that Mario is a crazy guy.
Mario needed to be a little bit more patient in that race and just kind of follow Morgan and figure him out a little bit, because I think those guys would have had a fantastic.
Come on, but it was good to see the two of them racing. I know that Mario lose it a little, but it was fantastic. Come on, that is the fun of this.
It is. It's great. It is great. Yeah,
Mario is just a crazy guy. If I knew it when I start to see them and I start to see Mario following him, I said that is going to try something like crazy, and is going to happen very fast, or he's going to fall, but he's going to try it. I knew it that he's going to try it, but he don't have patience. And I think Morgan is a guy who has more balance. He knows Mario.
Morgan is a machine.
Yeah.
And Mario is an anomaly. That kid comes up with stuff and he goes out and does things and you're like, did he just do that? Oh my gosh. I can't believe he just did that.
He's like my AUC journey is telling. Mario is a crazy guy in skateboards, in AUCs. He's impressive in each machine he touches.
Mario has pretty much single-handedly changed the sport as far as what things you can do on an e-board, or the possibilities of things that you can do on an e-board. It's just the kid. Oh man, I don't know where he gets it or how he does it, but it just one day you're standing there watching him, and then he takes and turns the board sideways into the corner, backs the board in, slows the board down, gets it back underneath him, and then powers off. And you're like, he just did that. That was an accident. And then he comes back and does it again. So I don't know. It just
But that is the beautiful.
It just felt right. Just the way it felt. Just yeah.
Come on, I have the pleasure to interview all of you guys, and the great thing is like you make it like a competition, but you make it with so much fun, and is not in this moment is a competition, but later on you guys are all together, you are all friends, and that's why I'm going to ask you like the new question is like this. How do you are seeing now the new generations, now that we have race boards to race? How do you see the new generations? Do you think in the future we're going to have lots of young guys racing, and you know that the young guys are hungry, they want to win? Do you think in the future we're going to see lots of these kids coming to this sport with race machines like your race machine, and going to go to the tracks and put us crazy? Because it's not easy to ride a machine like this. You have to have skills.
The truth of the matter is, Nelson, is that age and treachery will always overcome youth and skill. And for guys like you and me, our days of being the best that we can be are behind us.
Can you forget?
It doesn't mean we can't have fun doing it or be good at it, but the days of being the best that we could be are behind us. So
yeah, I just want to have fun and see the guys doing crazy stuff.
So the sport right now, we've got a guy in San Diego running with that crew down in San Diego. His name's Jack Farah, and he's a young kid, and he's really a smart kid. He builds all of his own stuff, and rides his all. The deal is you got guys that are builders, you got guys that are riders, right? You guys got guys like Mario that just blow your mind every time they get out there and ride. But you got guys like that can just build machines that come out and are fantastic. Jack Farah is one of these guys that can do both pretty well, and he's young and he is talented. And once he gets his things together right, he is going to be very hard to beat, because he is at the age where things are working perfectly. So that portion where we get a little bit older and we get a little bit slower, he's not there. He's in that fine-tuned stage, and he is riding right now at a level. Tell you what, so he came out to the Apple Valley race. He's got a bro deck, which is wood, and it's primarily mountain board style type deal, right? He's got a set of 3 links that he built, configured, put together, and he's got his battery mounted in a box on top of the deck, so there's no battery underlayment on it. He's got his deck line really nice and low to the pivot center, so it works good. It's a low lateral G deck. He figured out all this stuff on his own, and he is running these giant outrunners with gear drives, open gear drives. And basically he's got a track pack that he put together on this thing, and it is wicked fast. This kid's 53, 55 miles an hour down the straightaway on this thing, and he turns. And so he ended up getting second place at Apple Valley Speedway, and beat out a lot of production race boards with great riders on them. And he's a kid, man. And he's doing
And
it
that's
all.
what we need.
He's doing it all though. He's the builder, he's the rider, and he does all his own maintenance and figuring out. And I think that combination right there is pretty incredible. So we're going to see things from him, and
You think
there's
he's
other
going to
young
help a
kids,
lot to push the sport?
there's other young kids coming into it that are going to be just as fantastic, I'm sure. So
I
yeah,
think too.
yeah.
I think we need more young guys to push this sport, because the young people is going to change this. I think they are very important for all of us, and they are the future. And
We called it in racing when I was running full body stock cars and midgets and sprints. It's the changing in the guard. The old guys, they're still pretty good, and the young talent comes in and clings their claw. It's just I hate to say it, you just what happens up here and then what happens out here at your hands, it slows down, man. And it's a sad thing because my brain still can do 19-year-old things, but my hands and my body can't. It's kind of a sad thing too, because you watch your heroes that you watched coming up in racing when you were a kid that were at the best, and you watch them get older and you watch their skills and stuff kind of come down, and and you watch them still try to do what they did when they were younger, and it's kind of a sad thing, because a lot of times in sports, guys are remembered about how they ended things, right?
mhm.
About how they did their last race or their last tour. And yeah, there's a lot of good, really, really great racers that just kind of faded away. So it's important that we take the guys that are doing well, and we give them a little respect and a little notoriety and acknowledge their accomplishments. Um,
Come on,
you know,
you can tell everything, my friend. For the people who don't know you, I have the pleasure to interview most of the riders, and most of the riders tell when if you was not there, most of them they never be in this competition, my friend. Most of the people who are racing today and having this big race on the uh, long boards or mountain boards, how do you want to put it? They could not be racing with the machines what they are racing without you, my friend. I see lots like Mario. I talk in an interview and I said he came to me one day and say, "Hey, there is this board. Come on, right?" And the guy was like, "Wow!" And we cannot just put this guys without your idea, what you want to bring to the table. And I know you from the first interview, and you said you was in your shop and you was just talking and say, "Nelson, I just want to build something for us to have a safe ride and enjoy the tracks, and go Sundays or Saturdays to one place and have a nice ride and enjoy ourselves." And today you have every Sundays lots of people riding.
well, it has to be everybody. Without without the riders pushing the envelopes, the boards don't get better.
Yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, it has to be it. You
A
can't have one.
combination.
Yeah, can't have one and not the other. So I am blessed to be able to having fallen into by complete accident fallen into this sport, and to be a part of it's fantastic. And I think anybody who's participating in it feels the same way about it. Hopefully, hopefully as a group we can grow this thing into something that's really fun, entertaining, and you know these guys that race and ride these things, this is not easy. It's not an easy thing to get on a board and go 50 miles an hour. It is really not. And these guys put their livelihoods on the line when they do this. They put their they put their bones and their flesh into it sometimes. And it's oh man, I just would really like to see this thing grow into something where these guys get some kind of a recognition, be able to enjoy their accomplishments of what they do and they put into it, and follow the roads like I've seen in the automobile racing world where I grew up and come through, where the heroes of the day have a hall of fame to go to, where people can go back and look and respect what these guys did. And right now, these guys that are riding, they're pioneers, every one of them.
Yeah, but somebody has to do something, and you created something. You and together with them, and you create something that together. For me, it's not you as a skater, as a guy who come from other background, and you come to the skates and you put the sport now, and then now you have other PVs coming to the events, to the races, coming all together. Is not easy, my friend. Most of the guys would like to just to make one wheels, the other guys, and you having to put 100 riders, and most of very good riders, and in one place is not easy. And then bring these guys who make the lives. That is lots of work, and I know that is lots of work. And then putting all together, ladies, boys, young guys, old guys, everybody together, awards, time. That is so much work that is not easy. It's not easy, and we have to say. Like here in the interview, you are seeing so much guys. This guy is from New York.
Yeah. He traveled all the way across country and smoked everybody.
Last year, we know what happened with him. He fall in. He don't like very much to ride with helm and protections.
I saw that. Yeah. But I wish we were officiating that race last year. My crew that wasn't a part of that deal, but it was interesting there with the call that they made on that. So, but
I think it was important. But it doesn't matter what happened. What was good was the decision. The decision was made, and I think it was the right decisions. And nobody need to. We're not going to go to that. That is 1 year ago. But it's nice to see so many people together, and coming to this event. I'm waiting for now. I think in the next 1-2 weeks we're going to see lots of videos coming out from the completely event. But just seeing so many riders from so many different places, from different parts of USA, and coming together there is beautiful. I think that is. Fantastic.
I think it's important to acknowledge these guys, and so I've got a. If you don't mind, I just take a minute and run down the list of the names of the guys and where they competed and where they finished. Can I do that real quick?
Yes, you can take the time you need. You don't need to be quick.
So this is the November 18th and 19th Apple Valley PEV Race-N-Ride. So in the trike bike scooter class, we had Maxwell Berger got first place, and Eric Wilson was second. Lauren Acerda was third. And then e-skate novice class, we had Giolan Tomthat, Alex. Alex Garbo was second, and then James Hodgen was third. And then let's see here, e-skate sportsman class this year in the A main, Giolan Tomthat again. He right up front in that class. He ran dual classes. Cole Acevedo was second, and then let's see, Steven Seaver was third. Steven was from the San Diego e-skate guys, the advanced rider division they're doing down there. Women's division for e-skate was Dina. I'm gonna say her last name wrong. Kitchens. I think somebody hand wrote this out, so bear with. Second place was Mia Lavan, and then 26 was Melissa Hodgson. So those were our ladies that ran in the women's division for e-skate. And then the e-skate pro class was Mario Chacon, Jack Farah, that kid I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
earlier, and then Ryan Rux, we call
Mm-hmm.
him. EUC Pro. You showed a picture of him just a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
That would show Scott that was up there talking to Seth from Amped. Roger Hajali, he fell in the race and worked his way back up to second. That can
That
you
is a
imagine how much time he lost? But yeah, he came off his EUC, got back on it, and fought his way back to second. And
you
then
continue. I'm just going to put some parts of the races here. Is
yeah,
we have the bikes and everything
and then
together with the scooter.
third in the EUC Pro was Kevin Savala. The women's EUC division, we had Maribel Vargas. She was first place. Dawn Champion, she was second, and then Celeste was third. Um, the women's division is just as competitive as the open division. Some of the women's division, they're riding up in the pro level of the men's division. They're fantastic to watch. Um, the sportsman class EUC was James Duval, and then Antonio Vargas was second, and Chance Hines was third with the sportsman EUC in the novice division. And it's important to acknowledge the sportsman and novice just as much as you do the pro, because these are the guys. These are the building blocks of the future, is being able to have these guys come in, learn, develop their skills, and have a place to race against other people who are learning and developing their skills. Not everybody is going to be riding at a pro level, and so you gotta be able to acknowledge these guys too that are coming in and learning the sport as well. So the novice division EUC was Albert Kula is what I have here, and then Jillian Tomthat and Gillian Tomthat for second and third. So pretty interesting that
Lots
it's
of
a
categories.
lot of people, and those are the winners. Those were all
Yeah.
people who podiumed at AVS this year. So you can imagine how many people those guys had to race, compete with, and beat to get there out of that many classes. It was
But my question is like this, my friend. Saturday was the classifying, and Saturday was Sunday was the finals.
Saturday. We did something different. We didn't do any of the traditional racing. We did a relay.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a 5-person relay. There, you had to have a one EUC, one E-skate, one bike, trike, or scooter, and then you could fill the other two with whatever you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Consisted of a team captain that would pick the order that those guys would go in, and then a scorer that would write down the time for each person as they completed a lap. So it was a 15-lap race. We had, I believe, 8 or 9 teams out there racing at the same time. What we did is we set up a hot chute area where you had to bring your rope baton into the hot chute, hand it off to your next competitor, and take off
Mm-hmm.
out of there. So it was we went into it not really knowing what the outcome would be like, but the top 4 teams were within 2 seconds of each other out of 15 laps and 5 riders. And the competitiveness was great. I think everybody enjoyed it. It's definitely something that we're going to bring back to the next one. And these teams from different parts of the country that came together, they're going to go home and they're going to think their strategy out about how do I get through the handoff better? How do I make this transition smoother? What kind of guys do I want on my team? How do we stagger these guys out so that we make the best of our time on the track? Do we put our fast guy out first? Do we put our fast guy out as the anchor guy? there's a lot of strategy that can be rolled into this relay event in the future, and I really am quite pleased with the way it laid out and went down. It really went smooth. Everybody had fun in it, and from a perspective of the crowd really enjoyed what was going on in the track, having the different
Come on, man.
diverse. Uh,
And for me, the important thing, like here, we are seeing everything we are seeing here. These guys who make it the life for us to see it. That was just amazing. Just to see these drones, to see the interviews, the putting everything together, for us to have the chance to see all the life of the event. That is not easy. That is just amazing. First year we have to see from the videos. This year we are seeing, and last year we are seeing lives. That is just a bless for all of us riders who love this sport.
there was so much media at this event. With the AMP crew, I believe they had 3 drones in there. I think that there was 3 other drone pilots out there getting footage. So the next couple of weeks, the media, there's going to be a lot of
That's why I'm waiting,
coming
my
out.
friend.
There's going to be a lot of people making, mixes of
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
music, and it's going to be a pretty incredible what these guys do in the drones and what they come up with to show people about the event. There was also another camera crew that was there. I think there was 6 or 8 in their group, and they're doing a documentary on I believe it's on batteries of all things.
Okay.
But part of this documentary is they're doing filming on what people are doing with batteries. So they were following the e-board crew around, doing a documentary and talking to, interviewing and shooting, and they had some pretty heavy duty equipment there with them, and what looked to be a pretty professionally done crew. And I was talking with somebody later, and I believe it's from the same people who did a documentary on. It was in the early 2000s. I watched it. It was a documentary called "What Killed the Electric Car." And, anyways, I'm really curious about what this kind of exposure is going to do for our sport. I can't see it being bad, but a bad thing.
This
But
is not bad. I
for
think this
for a
this race
professional,
is beautiful. That
yeah,
is
professional
something.
documentary with our guys in it doing what they do. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys come up with, and see what the future holds for that. So
I think the future is going to be fantastic, my friend. I think just seeing this type of pictures, this type of lives, and then later on comes the videos with nice productions and everything, and explaining and showing finals, semifinals, ladies. I was seeing in a race from bikes and scooters, a kid with a motorbike there too, enjoying coming in a race together with them. That is just something that is just positive, and that's what we need. We need more events like this. It's very sad that there's not lots of persons who are interesting losing his time to create something, and that is very sad. And we had the amazing time capturing the races. So this is life for the UC. One of them was doing something for all of us. Thank you
yeah,
so much. That is very important for all of us. Without you guys, we don't have what we have today. The world should be watching. Yes, I think step by step, guys, you are growing a place, and I think in the future, the channel from you guys is going to be something that most of the PVs races and events is going to be broadcast by you guys, and we're going to love to see all the time more lives. In the future, I want to bring you guys here to the live stream to talk about it. I think that is important for all of us. Live from
yeah,
Apex. Yes, I know, my friend. I know all of you, Big Boy. I know the COBRA, everybody who's working a lot. But we need you. Don't stop doing what you are doing because you are helping the community. You are helping these events. Without you guys, we don't have most of the lives. And we need the lives. The lives bring lots of good. Like you are seeing this race. We Moe, for 3 years, I think for us, we always not imagine that is going to happen.
No.
We have to wait for the videos from everybody. We
Yep.
was like, okay, let's wait for the videos from everyone, and seeing this life, nobody can change this. This is not. This is not. How can I say? This is not the production. Production. That is real life.
Yeah.
What everybody's seeing, and that is the beautiful thing. And seeing these drones following these guys, and I just have to say, for all of you guys, I'm very proud. First of all, I don't have no words for this. This is just amazing. That is not easy, and
It's
changing to this.
it's really
Excuse
great
me.
to see. You got the guys in Australia with the ESR. I think it's Ezra ESRA.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they they're right along the lines of what the guys in Amped here are kind of doing here too. I mean, they're live stream production. Their race down in Perth, Elizabeth Quay deal was
Mm-hmm.
super fun to watch. So it's it's coming along, man. They're moving things on different parts of the world, and like I said, it's just a matter of time for the public. The public gets a hold of this and goes, "What is this? This is entertaining." But you're right. The guys like Amped, they bring it and they make it into a palatable thing so that people can enjoy it. And yeah, it's going to
I'm
be
I don't want to make this video very big, but I want to go to one part very important.
yeah.
It's like this: me or somebody in USA, around the world. First, we go to USA. What parts do you uh, sell for everybody to know? Do you sell with batteries, without batteries? What parts do you sell in your store?
So our like say you go and buy a V5, I'll build you one complete. And what a complete is it's everything but the batteries. Our
Okay.
we're set up for we'll ship it where it's set up where you buy lithium polymer packs
Mm-hmm.
because they're off the shelf. They're hard for a person like me to be able to ship
Mm-hmm.
and easy for somebody to get on eBay or go to and buy online. So the lithium polymer packs are a deal. What's off the shelf, you plug them in and you go. um, there's guys that have taken our boards, and like Morgan Brady worked with Chi battery systems in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, and they built molly cell packs and adapted them, put them in the board. So uh, my take on the race board deal is that this is not a board that you buy to just have and cruise.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to know how to do a few things. You need to have a good understanding of adjusting, and you need to have an understanding of what batteries do and what you shouldn't be doing with batteries. So um, it's our 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 way of thinking on this is that when you're at the racetrack, you need to be able to get into the battery tray easy, change it, put fresh set of batteries in to go out for your next race,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to wait for charging. So keeping a couple sets of batteries at the track is the way that my approach is on it. That doesn't mean it's for everybody. Our boards are not for everybody, but we
Good that you say
definitely,
that. I think lots of people don't say that. They
yeah,
just want to sell.
yeah. Our boards are not for everybody, but they
Hi
they
Mario.
yeah, we do bring. I don't know.
to
I
catch
trail
you here
ride
again.
mine. I have a good time riding mine on trails and on the street, but it's primarily our objective is to set up something that can be easily used at the racetrack. So
So when you guys want to proclaim a board, we are seeing this. If they want without the batteries, you're going to give with everything, motors and everything. Just the battery don't come. They comes with a.
just the batteries don't come. So you got the controller. You'll
Okay.
have the wiring harness, the
Mm-hmm.
ESCs, the motors, the
Mm-hmm.
steering, the deck,
Okay.
the belly pan. Yeah, you buy
Okay.
the batteries and plug them in.
Okay, that is the important thing, just for the people to understand and to know what they're going to get. To contact, just go here down, guys, and here contact us, and
Yeah,
they take care
send
of
me an
you.
email, get a hold of me on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram or Facebook, and we can talk about building something custom if you want something a little different.
How is that? How is that for guys like for Europe or from Australia or around the world? Is that easy today?
It's easy, but Australia and Europe's kind of tough because the taxes are harsh
Mm-hmm.
in Europe. They're harsh in Europe and they're harsh in the Australia. Um, it's just it, it's just something that we have to deal with at this point in time.
Yes, yes, I
We
know.
maybe someday governments will learn to figure it out, but
It's difficult, my friend. It's difficult.
it's going
Europe.
to cost you a VAT tax
Yeah.
or a tax to get us. But we have no trouble making and shipping. There's no troubles shipping to the EU, shipping the
Because you are
Australia.
without batteries, that is not a problem. The big problem is always the batteries. If
Well,
you
yeah, the batteries is the problems with shipping, but the lithium polymer batteries can be sourced locally in Europe. They can be sourced locally in Australia because they are hobby batteries. They're
Mhm,
batteries that are running drones.
mhm,
They're batteries that are running in fifth scale cars,
mhm.
and they're pretty accessible, pretty easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, my friend. So first of all, I want to say to everybody who came to the live is going to see it, like always, uh, look to this group of people who are doing a lot in USA for this sport. Moe is one of the guys. If you have the chance to go and see the first interview with him, he was just in his shop. In not his in shop, in his garage.
Garage,
Sorry.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
And it was just having a good time, a conversation with me, like two guys who love this sport. And he was talking just something, and close to 3 years later, we are here talking about another dimension. Lots of people now are involved. It's not just him. We have live events. We have lots of riders from around USA coming to these races. The machines coming powerful and powerful. The riders coming more like he was
Nelson.
telling.
I
The
have
guy
one guy
falls and he
out
comes
there.
second place.
I
Yeah.
have one guy out there on these new motors. On 12S, he is capable. The motors on
Uh-huh.
12S, they are capable of putting down 30,000 watts
Wow.
on a skateboard. That's 40 horsepower.
You have to be you have to have
Insane.
a good you have to work very well your legs and and be prepared.
Yeah.
We are seeing the AUCs pushing too, and we are seeing now the one wheels. I'm seeing that they are starting to try to push too. We are seeing lots of volts, lots of power.
Yeah.
For everybody's out there, don't forget, lots of volts, lots of power. You have to know what you are doing. That is not machines. It's not for everyone. It's for people who are ready and prepared. Has lots of training. Starts
Yes.
from something small and grow up. And that way, you're not going to hurt yourself, and you're not going to hurt other persons. That is a very lovely sport, but we are talking today about big speeds, and you have to have nice protections, because when you fall, you
It
can
is.
damage yourself very, very hard.
It is. It's funny you mentioned that, but you and I sitting down 2 years ago and you and I sitting down today, between you and me, not a lot has changed, but
Mm-hmm.
everything else around us has changed.
Oh, my friend,
Everything's changed.
you imagine when we talked the first time, and my friend, come on, when I think, when I start doing this lives, and what changed when I contact you the last time we talk, I write to you and I say we have to talk about it. That is 2 years, close to 3 years that we don't talk, and in 3 years has changed so much in the PVs.
Yes.
That
It
has
has.
nothing to do. The batteries, everything. We are going to another level. And imagine in 2 years when we come back here again, the two of us, what we are going to talk about it, because this is like crazy.
Yeah.
We are look how many horsepowers do you have today in one skate.
Too much.
Imagine in 2 years. We are not
You know,
stopping.
no, the reason the horsepower isn't as much as important as the reliability out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take an electronic device and you're pushing it to its limits, you're
Mm-hmm.
building heat, you're building resistance. That's when you have failure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an electronic device and you're only able to push it half of its limits, but still get the same results, the high results, but only use half of the limits, this is going to live now. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
run cool. You're going to get long run times, and you have less failure that way.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say a guy's got a 40 horsepower skateboard out there, it's not because he's out using 40 horsepower. It's because when you're not pushing the limits, he's still 18 horsepower is what he's using,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing gets hot. Nothing is having to work hard as far as the electronics and the delivery of the power, and they become much safer that way, much safer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We will see what is going to happen. But from my what I see today and what I see before, we are going in a good direction. In the
right,
beginning, I was thinking maybe okay, that is the third time we are trying with batteries, and the first 2 times was always not work, and now we are for the third time. And now we are seeing that the batteries is maybe a big future too. Uh,
true.
and
Battery.
and we have to work, and we have to think about the guys who are in the VESCs, the DIYers. They are very important for all of us. They come always with good ideas, and that is very important. I think without them and without this industry, and without the riders and without the feedbacks, and everything was not the same. And
My my main thought with that single motor running one motor is with one motor, one ESC, and one receiver, you only have one problem.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You have very little to go wrong. So if you can overbuild that where you have double the amount of power that you actually need in one motor, it doesn't ever get hot. It doesn't, doesn't stress, doesn't fail. And you
Mm-hmm.
just simplified the whole thing and made it a lot more reliable for the rider.
Mm-hmm.
One less thing to go wrong. So I'm a big proponent of keeping things simple and making things as simple as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when you complicate things, it's really hard to diagnose something when you're out. Like say you have four motors on a
Mm-hmm.
skateboard, you go out and you feel that that
Mm-hmm.
stutter. You don't know which portion of that
Mm-hmm.
happened, unless you can go back in your data logger and look and find it. It's
Mm-hmm.
really tough to figure out what component's going wrong. When you are one ESC, one motor,
Mm-hmm.
there's only one problem.
Yeah, I
You got to
understand what
replace
you mean.
one or the other or both. So it's kind of an interesting step, being able to do the things we're doing right now on one motor. It's I'm really enjoying the simplicity of it. and the reliability we've had out of this new motor, it's giant. The motor weighs 5 pounds. It's a 70-125 is the measurement for the can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gigantic, but it's really laying out to be a nice little package, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more people on this setup.
Is any plans for next year already, or you're going to take a little time and then?
Well, we
For
got
the
our web store and the racing and stuff. As far as PEV, we're looking at maybe doing a winter race and ride.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a big production like we did this time, but who knows? It might be the same thing all over
Mm-hmm.
again with more riders. But possibly February, March, we may do another event like this. We're looking at a couple of different racetracks. I'd like to try somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
just to have something different for the riders to come to. We're looking at Willow Springs. I got to get with those people and do a walk around and check it
Mm-hmm.
out and make sure it's going to hit all the things that we need as a group. We need lots of parking. We need lots of area. Because there's lots of bodies, and we need to be able to. There's just a lot of logistics with it as far as making an event running a track, other than just having a track and a place to do it. But we'd like to expand on a little bit. And like we talked earlier, the kart racing thing, just moving that around and
Mm-hmm.
seeing if we can get more racing for
Mm-hmm.
next year.
I hope that you achieve everything you need, my friend. I hope to see you very soon again here. I think without you, the sport will not be the same. Like the first time, I'm going to tell you thank you so much for you to help the community. Without you, we don't see the longboard, skateboards going so fast without you. We continue to have just the normal boards, and you change that with lots of work, lots of love, because I know that you are a rider too, and you like to go fast. Lots of people think you are just a guy who built, but they don't know that you are a guy who likes to go fast too. We are a little old, but we always try to do something.
We work with what we have.
And I just want to say before I go, I'm going to leave you with the last words. But before, I want to say in 3 days, we are going to have another interview here. Is going to be a person. I'm just going to put this person here because Lars is a guy from Denmark, and I have the pleasure to meet him about 3 or 4 months, and it was the first time I see them. And we was talking, and he said, "Oh, I make a small event for me and my friends in Denmark for one wheelers." And we talk about it, and I say, "Why don't you do a big event?" And they say, "Okay, in 2024 we're going to make a big event for everybody." He's going to come here and talk about this event. It's going to happen in Denmark. It's a beautiful country in Europe, and if you have the chance, it's going to be the Denmark One Wheel Games. Go there. There's a big inspiration. They're going to make it very technical, and if you are a lover of one wheels, I think that is the nice place for you to go. But if you are in Denmark, there is going to be David there, that is in an airport very close to, and he has lots of skateboards, and he's a guy who rides very fast. And I'm going to leave the link. Maybe you can go there to this track in this airport, and you can try the skateboards for him, because he's a very good person and rider. And you have the two options: go to one wheel, or maybe you can go and try a skateboard.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's good stuff.
I think it's a good idea for 24 if you want to go. And if you have the chance, come here and see the life. It's going to be lots of life, lots of ladies. We're going to bring lots of persons. For you, my friend, I'm going to leave you with the last word for the community. It's always a pleasure to have you here. We can stay here hours and hours speaking, and I know that is lots of for us to talk, but it's close to 2 hours now again.
Oh shoot, I'm done. I figured we'd get this chopped up in an hour and be done.
No, my friend, close to
Damn it.
2 hours now.
I'm sorry, man.
Last time I was with my AUC journey. I was close to 4 hours. I was like, my God, that
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everybody came from my side. This is the first interview from this year. I have the pleasure to say I started with Moe. Is one of the persons I love. I think he's one of the persons who changed this sport. I have lots of respect for him, and I'm very proud to have you here. And I hope that we can continue to do it this and in putting your machines better and better. And next year is the year I'm going to visit all of you. I was planning to go to the A Skate Con in 2023. It was not possible, but I want to be in 24 in USA for lots of events. For my side, my friend, thank you so much. I just want to leave you with the last words for our community. I think everybody wants to listen from you, not from me.
My last words to everybody is I'd like to put a thank you out to my crew that came and helped out, all the people who participated in putting on this event. The sponsors, Riptide, Super Beast, Clark Pads, Alien Rides, Begode, Hoyt Street, Tommy Boy, and Amped Electric Games, and the SKP crew as well. Without the support of the sponsors, the guys who get out there and rip the track, they deserve a little something, because the most important thing about the event is the people who get out and rip the track. They're the guys that you watch, that you cheer, that make your jaws drop, that are like, blow your minds. The participants that get out and race and do this. Just the joy of watching competition and watching people compete on something that they built, they customized, they made. There's a lot of pride in that, and a lot of joy out of the people that get to watch them. So that's my shout out, is to the people that all came together to make this event happen. So I'd like to thank them.
My friend, best words we can listen is thinking about the community. And I hope that everybody remember one thing: for you to grow, you have to have a nice community. Don't do everything just for you. Do
That's
it for
sure.
all of us. That way we can grow together. If you are just planning to do everything for you, then you are not with us. You are alone, and you're going to lose a lot. Always try to help. That way we can grow together. My friend, thank you so much for coming here again, taking your precious time, and come here and talk about the magnificent event that you made, and how do you help the riders, how riders help you to grow. I'm very happy that today you have a board out there. In the beginning, when we start for the first time, I was always telling you, please make a board. You can make a fantastic machine. And you say, Nelson, that is so many hours and so much work and putting everything together, and everything have to be perfect. And today you have a perfect machine for all of us who love to ride, not just ride. That is a machine to race. And if you guys want to have something, contact him. Is the best way for you to know if that is the right machine for you. How can you put it? How can you? And I think he's going to give you the best information that you need. Just go to the website. I'm going to leave all the links here, and I'm going to leave the links from the events from 2022 and the lives from 2023 and 21, that everybody can see it. How fantastic is the events from these guys? That is just amazing. Big compliment for everybody was there working and putting everything together for that to work. Without all of you, it was not possible. My friend, thank you so much.
See you, Nelson.
So guys, have a good time and see you in the next one. And we are away. Bye bye. We are